Welcome back to RealVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith, and I show you different properties in these videos. But before I get into this one, I wanted to ask, because this picture behind us is Yosemite National Forest. If you guys have been to Yosemite, I'd like to hear what your favorite or most memorable experience of visiting Yosemite National Park was. Because I know a lot of you guys have visited Yosemite, and I've visited a couple times, and I just my favorite was coming from the backside, and I was going to a conference. I was supposed to be at this conference. I was doing some speaking at a conference about stocks, and I had to get to this conference, but the park was closing for the winter. It was the last day that the park was open, and they were closing the gates behind me. I just made it in and before the weather turned, and there was a storm coming, and it was supposed to start snowing, and it was like September or something. It wasn't even that late in the year, but they were closing the back side of the park, so no one was going to drive through there until spring. And I just remember just barely making it, and I was able to make it to that conference on time. So that's usually I remember nature and the environment, but that's what I remember most about Yosemite the last time I was there. And so if you put that in the comments below, I'd like to hear your stories, because this property I want to show you is near Yosemite. It's near Yosemite National Park. It's just down the hill from Yosemite. It's like 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, like 20 miles. It's a weavy road. It's about 20 miles from the one of the main gates to Yosemite National Forest. And I mean, I'd get an annual pass if I lived that close. I think they're $85 and as many people as you can fit in the car. And you can drive in there and go hiking, taking pictures. I'd go explore all the back trails and just get to know that place. I know there's some crazy back trails in that park that I would love to get my kids into. So living close to Yosemite, I think, would be a beautiful thing. So let's take a look at this property. This one, I just got it and just came in. I just priced it. We'll jump into the pricing. I'm sure I'm the lowest price in the area. I just priced it at $34,999, and I'll show you the competition, what else is out there for sale in a little bit. But let's look at this property first. So we got some cartoons. I got some professional picture guys going to get pictures. But right now we got some cartoons of it. We got satellite photos. It's a pie-shaped property on a paved road. It's 5 acres. It's a big 5 acres. It's got a driveway on one side, so you can get off the main road and drive back in there. It's got power lines across the street. There's a telecommunications box across the street, so I think there's phone lines there too. Hopefully it's got DSL and internet and that kind of stuff to come with it. Here's some Google street view of the thing. We'll jump into street view in a sec and take a look at this, but it looks like it would be flat land to drive into off the paved road. The dirt road, I mean, gives you a whole bunch of access. You get access from two sides. Here's a map. We'll jump in. We'll see some more maps as I pull up the maps. I love maps. I'm going to show you maps. Here's a cartoon of the lot lines. Some people in the area are building homes. Some people are using mobile homes. So I think the zoning is pretty open. The zoning designation on this one is MH. I'm pretty darn sure that's mobile home. And it's mobile home friendly if you want to put a mobile home on this one, or build a home. And just the more open the regulations are, the easier it is to use, right? So down below in the description of this video, you'll see a link. It'll go back to my website here, realvacantland.com, where you can play with the same map that I'm pulling up on the screen. And this map has the cartoon of the lot lines. It looks like I should fix it a little bit to get it follows the roads. Bigger highways over here, so you're not right on that. Smaller road comes off, and then a dirt road comes off of that, which is basically your driveway. It reaches back to a couple people, but you can use that to get to this property. Is my understanding. So as we zoom in here, you can see there's power lines going along here, hooking from house. It's going from house to house instead of running right down the road. When I was looking at the road, first I was scratching my head going, oh no, there's no power here, but there's neighbors, so I studied it some more. The neighbors have the lines going from house to house. So I'm sure the power company could string it over to your property if you ask them what the best route is. I'm sure they'll figure it out because they want to sign you up as a client, right? Start charging you bills, plug you in, and suck your juice. Well, so there's some ponds down the way, so it makes me think that the water table is not too hard to get into. There's a creek over here. You got to drill a well for water. Let's get the Google guy out here and take a look. So if we're coming, this would be the back side. I should have probably done it from the other side. Let's start where let's start, if you're driving up from the property, this would be the turnoff. Let's take a look here. Yeah, see, there's more traffic over here. You don't want to live on that road. Um, so here's the turnoff. There's the main road. This would turn off towards your road. And then instead of driving that, let's drag the Google guy over here. Let's start down the street a little bit. It's down the street a little bit, if this is showing it right. Yeah, okay, we just went down the street a little further. Okay, so if we're approaching the property from the big road, we'd be driving up here, and this dirt road would be our driveway. Across the street here, I wanted to show you the telecommunications box. So there's telecommunications. It probably says AT&T on there, right? But that says that there's a phone line in the area. Not that most people hook up to a phone line anymore. You probably just use your cell, but that might mean that there's DSL, so you get high-speed internet through them. So I would ask them. Across the street, you can see the telephone poles running through, or the power poles, so you could string power from there to the property. There is a mailbox at the corner. This is your property here, this corner. So the neighbor's got a mailbox. It looks like 4 mailboxes. Looks like they like the big mailboxes. One little one, 3 big ones. Maybe it's vacation homes or something. Or they like a lot of mail, magazines. But so here's your driveway. It looks like neighbors are taking care of the driveway. And so you could drive in here. It looks like it feeds them and it feeds some others. So this would border the property. This would be part of your property. Like this big tree here would be your property. These trees here, that one looks dead. But, it's vacant land. Nobody's been taking care of it for a while. Might be time to play with a chainsaw. And then here's the land. And it's pretty even with the street. So even if you want to do a driveway off the street, you could do that. I would highly suggest you don't do it on the inside turn because it's hard to get in and out of there. It'd probably make a lot more sense to do a driveway in from here, or drive up this way and come back, so you could save some of this bush to keep some kind of buffer between you and the street. You don't have to look at the cars. You don't have the cars looking at you. Okay, so here's the land, and it looks pretty flat going back in there. It doesn't look like swamp or bog or crazy hillside or anything. And yeah, there's some trees and bush. There's 5 acres of this. So 5 acres of this kind of land. Looks like there's a creative rock in there that belong perfect in your front yard. Just leave it right where it is. Give it some character. And then as we start going a little further, it gets to be a little bit of a hill, but it's still not that much of a hill. I believe this is still your property. Still your property, still your property. Then there's some rocks over here. And it looks like someone started clipping the bush and taking care of it. And that's probably where they believe the property line is. And then it starts going into the neighbor. So if we duck out of there and, well, how do I get back? Here we go. Okay, so I think we just drove from over here. Let's make this bigger. We just drove from over here past the property to up here where the bush starts getting cleaned up a little bit, and I think that turns into the neighbor's property. And yeah, so you don't have any neighbors on this side. You got a neighbor on this side, and you got a neighbor on that side. That brings the utilities in, and that allows you to get access to this property. So 5 acres. Now the best part of this is the price. The price, $34,999. You guys probably know me from the $2,000 properties and the $5,000 properties and the $10,000 properties in the $30,000 market. But now we've got a $35,000, $34,999 kind of property in like a $60,000 market. I'm going to go show you the competition's asking 60 grand for anything like this in the area. We've got GPS coordinates. If you want to take a tour of it, click on that, and it'll give you in your phone. It'll give you driving directions to go look at the property. You can drive up to it and look at it, in person. Make sure the neighbors are nice and cool and everything, and you'd be happy living next to them. And make sure the the roads work and there's no gates and there's no weirdness. No, the smells and sound and everything works. And just go check it out. Taxes are $282 a year. We bought it through title company, so I'd like to run it through title company on the sale side. We can get it back to the same title company if you like. So if you're writing up an offer on this, let me know, and we'll get the same title company in there. It was I thought I had the title paperwork right next to me, but maybe not. I'll look it up, and we'll use the same title company that we bought it through. It'll go faster and easier, probably cheaper. Um, and so we've got directions to the hospital and the town and the market and the gas station and restaurants and stuff like that in the area. But I wanted to get to the price. Um, okay. So we got directions to Mariposa is the closest town, and you could do that's where the county recorder is. That's usually I'm usually dealing with. But I mean, grocery stores and libraries, schools, all that kind of stuff. The basics to run life are there, and it's 10 miles away. It's like 15-minute drive by Google's directions. To get to Yosemite National Park, you got the fun way going through. I forget the name of this road. I had some land on this road once upon a time, and it's a crazy road. I think it's like, well, I've had land in Ponderosa Basin too along here. That stuff sold so fast. Couldn't hardly blink. But I had some up this way too, like back in the mountains, and that went fast too. But it just looks like the fun, entertaining road to get there, but it takes you an hour. It's really small, back weavy, windy road, 20 miles to get to the main entrance to Yosemite. Or a bigger road takes an hour down to go this way. It's 32 miles, and it's going a lot less hill and then up a straighter shot. Or 53 minutes, this should be the fastest road, probably the most boring route, but still the fastest, would be 33 miles. You take the 49 to Oakhurst and then shoot up through Yosemite Forks. So Google's offering a couple different routes to get into Yosemite. You could try different ones in different ways, and you could also go around the other way and come in through the backside too, and come in this way, get up into Yosemite Valley. There's a lot of ways to do it. This is taking you through Yosemite West, but the point is it's really close to Yosemite. And let's jump into the market. Here's my favorite part. Okay, so I got this pulled up on Zillow. It's not in the MLS distribution system yet because I want to get some more professional pictures of the property, and then it'll start showing up on these maps. But it's just pretend it's in the middle of the screen here. It will be soon. So the cheapest thing that Zillow's coming up with, I got this sorted by price, low to high. In the area is this $40,000 property, and it's like been on the market for 1,600 days. This is just a joke. It's bad data. Zillow's got a lot of bad data. Good luck being able to buy it. It's like 1/5 the size of what we're talking about anyway. It's just, yeah, something's either really wrong with it. It's not mapped. It's just bad data. Next cheapest one out there is 59.9, 6 acres, just over 6 acres. So it's 1 acre larger than the one that I've got, and it's been on the market for a bit. It looks like nice green area with trees. It kind of looks like maybe the area was burnt. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just looking at it from outside. It's basically been on the market a year, and nobody's bought the thing. And they're saying it's got to be one of the nicest parcels on the market today. I think it's overpriced, right? If it's if it's up for sale for a year, no one bought it, it's overpriced. So I mean they're pointing it out, and it looks beautiful and everything in lots of ways. I think it's just overpriced at 60 grand. Looks like there's a power line. But that's the cheapest competition out there. The next is $68,000 for 5.4 acres. It's been on the market for 2 months. That one's got a is that a well? It's got a seasonal creek, but it's like twice the price of what I'm asking. And it's 85 grand's got a well. I think for 85 grand you get one with a water well. It looks like it's got a power pole and a water well. There's a power pole next to it, and it looks like it's got a telecommunications box, trees, and it's got a well. So for like an extra 50 grand above what I'm asking for, you get one with a well that is 3 acres. It's smaller than the one I'm offering. But that's the competition. Here's the well. There's some good looking trees on that one. Then the prices are higher from there, over 100 grand. If we zoom out, it's a lot of the same story. There's a couple cheaper ones that pop out that are much further off, that aren't as close to the market. The super cheap stuff out there is really hard access, like this 10 acre $25,000 one that's been up here for a while. I talked to the guys on that one. It sounds like you're driving for a day to get out there. I mean, it takes a day to go tour the property and back. It's really far out, right? Um, and then we got some in Ponderosa Basin that are it's like neighborhood rules and regulations. They've got community water over there, and yeah, you guys can go look at the market. These are all smaller. All these, uh, all these cheaper prices are much smaller than what I'm offering. And go look at them. Go tour them. I think you'll come to the same conclusion. I got the cheapest on the market for the size, for the 5 acre size that I'm offering. And I think that's the sweetest point. That's probably what I should have started this presentation on. But I think that's the icing on the cake. So I hope to come back to you soon with some better pictures of this property. And in the meantime, feel free to go take a look at it and jump the gun before it gets out into the MLS markets. That I'll put it on as soon as I get some good pictures. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.